إيش قصدك بميوزيكال؟
خمسينات وستينات وسبعينات، فيروز، يا عصافي، نصر شمس الدين، الرحابنة، عبد الوهاب، أم كلثوم، عبد الحليم حافظ، أسمهان، فريد الأطرش. Sound of music, singing in the rain,
singing, dancing and acting.
Musical is Broadway.
And I grew up watching musicals.
I don't like musicals in general.
بس كتير بعرف عن musicals.
الصراحة مش كتير إنه يعني I'm into musicals.
I love watching musicals.
It's basically a story and someone's angry, he sings about it. Someone's in love, they sing about it. I've never heard of a musical in the Middle East.
I'm not a fan of musicals.
People are no longer thirsty for musicals the way that they used to. You just don't find this need for musicals anymore. Where there's low demand, there's high cost, why bother? But I think if musicals were ever to be revived, it has to come from people and it has to come from industries believing that this is one of the highest forms of art.
Pre-production was quite a journey. That was probably the toughest part of the entire process.
We wanted it to be magical. We wanted the music to be reflected visually. So it took us some time to find the right people to work with.
So when we sat down with Robert, we really felt emotionally that he understood the story. He saw the vision that we had. We created beautiful proposals, very passionate. We came up with maybe 3 or 4 different storylines that would appeal to different sponsors. By pure luck, we get an email from Bait.com saying go for it.
It was really cool because it wasn't an ad. It was them wanting us to tell our story. So we had the creative freedom.
To take a classic Arabic song and apply very classic Western tunes to it. I just love the concept.
I thought, you know what, this is going to be a big hit because the song hits a nerve. And it's one of those songs that you're like, oh, I haven't heard this in a long time. Ooh, they're doing it. People love familiar. They don't want to hear anything new. So what you do is you combine this new texture into something that they already know. So it's just to grab them slowly.
This is a great way to make a beautiful classic Arabic song more accessible to the youth.
We went into the studio and we recorded that. I felt really connected and I started creating the moves in my head.
We then had to find a producer. You have to think very creatively about how to use a limited budget.
Even locations. Locations were a tough sell for us because we had to take them for free. After sitting with the director, we decided what to do, how many extras, how can we play with the movement and the special effects. Robert was actually pushing us to do the maximum and then we would go back to the sense and reality. One of my first obstacles, imagining what a location would be. Do we have a table? Can this chair spin? Would they flip? Would they fly if I want to use them? And you would not know until you are on set and on the day of shooting.
The biggest challenge for us was to get the rights to the song.
We took the melody of Batwana Speak, which is an original song by Warda.
شوي بالعالم العربي احنا الموضوع عنا معقد لأنه ما في قوانين فنية واضحة.
And even after we confirmed the budget and everything was going fine, they're like, you know what, you have to have the copyrights. So it took us around a month and a half to get the copyrights from the composer and the arranger and the lyric writer.
طبعا احنا الوقت كان عم بيمر وتحضيرات اخراج وتحضيرات برودكشن وبيت.com ما عم تبعت لنا مصاري قبل ما ناخذ اللايسنس واحنا ما بدنا نوقف البري برودكشن ايمانا منا انه هذا العمل بده يصير.
So that legal battle was quite a nightmare, to be honest. We literally got the rights to the song the day before we started shooting. And that was probably the biggest risk we took in pre-production. The first set we arrived to was the construction site in the video, and we were blown away by the art and by the set and the organization, and we couldn't believe what we saw.
كان إشي عن جد خرافي، كانش بدي يخلص هذا السين قد ما نحن كنا مبسوطين فيه.
It was 5 a.m. in the morning, everybody's smiling, everybody's so excited. It was a bit like a dream, you know, when you need somebody to wake you up.
It's going to be a good shoot. I'm excited to do this. I think everyone seems to be excited. The members are lovely, the director is lovely, it's a great crew.
And that day really, really flowed beautifully. It was a very positive atmosphere, and I really think that it radiates and it shows in our video.
والله حلو صراحة، خبرة جديدة.
عن جد؟ أول مرة تعمل هيك شيء؟
أول مرة أعمل شيء موسيقى.
This is, let's say, my first time being
musical video.
But When to Speak was my first musical video clip that was taken and choreographed on camera.
But When to Speak was my first official musical, let's say, I don't want to call it video clip, I'm going to say short film because it's a story.
We don't have the experience that they do abroad. That's our main thing. But we're getting there slowly but surely.
إنه كتير عم تدمج عناصر مع بعض. فهذا الإشي صعب، بكلف كتير مصاري، وبنفس الوقت يعني مش إشي مربوط كتير بثقافتنا.
It was a difficult production, but that's usually budget limitations. We had a lot of locations to shoot in. It was very ambitious.
You choreograph everything and it's on set. Once you are on the camera, it's another thing. The dancers are the creative force and they are driving this force and this joy from one place to another. Robert used to come and say a small word in each ear of us to tell us what is our intention. In each look or in each performing, we had a small story in the back of our head to think about. So there's an intention out of it.
The spark of the visuals is just so clean and so rare to see an underground, I'm going to call us, Jordanian project that has clean images and nice, sharp art.
Each song, when it flips with a new work. Also the pills, I would never have thought it would work. Robert kept and insisted on doing it and it worked at the end.
The second day was more challenging. Because of the budget, we decided to shoot the video in 2 days, but technically it should have been shot in 3 days. The second day was a 19-hour day of shooting.
We had to leave at 4 a.m.
عن جد؟ مين؟ برافو! جبنا اكستراز. هذا من الاشياء اللي كثير صعبناها بهذا البرودكشن، انك تقعد بني ادم من الساعه 10 بالليل للساعه 2 الصبح، يلا لاقي حدا هسه.
So the setup took around 4.5 hours while we waited and waited and waited. And this was, of course, we were losing shooting time and we already only had the 2 days to shoot.
And we didn't have the luxury to have more shots.
Luckily, our production crew were so happy to be a part of this project that they accepted to work overtime at no cost. We didn't care about getting paid ourselves, and we didn't, and that was fine. We just want to put work out into the universe.
روبرت قدر يطلع اللوكيشنز بهاي الحلاوة. يعني أنا ما كنت متوقع، مع إني أنا حافظ اللوكيشن. كان عندي مشكلة شوي في التايمينج لإيتش لوكيشن.
The owners of one of the locations still wanted customers to come into the store while we were shooting there. The second free location that we got, there was a misunderstanding about how we were going to be using the space.
They were supposed to dance on the tables. Once we were in the location, we were not allowed to step on the tables.
So we on the spot had to reshift the choreography in that moment to make it work, which we did. So we had to be very quick on our feet with solutions, and even the smoke machine was hazardous to the space itself, and we didn't know that, and that really affected the overall feel of that scene.
The lighting was such an issue. And I'm definitely sure that if you had somebody more of an expert on how to do this light switch, it wouldn't have taken us that long. Even though it's this fast scene, but it's a shock for people. And that is what it takes to grab the person watching.
I think with respect to post-production, there's always that moment of, oh wow, this is what it is. This is it.
But when it's to me, I'm getting goosebumps when I'm saying this, is the first project that I look at and I say, I see the energy, I see everybody who took part of it and their positivity, I see it on screen.
I've never worked on a musical before. It's not really something I would usually do, but it was an experience. It's a nice experience.
Some of the transitions in between the scenes, which also required visual effects, were harder to achieve. So, you know, the editor and Robert were working around the clock to make sure that deliveries were done on time.
Musical is such a sophisticated genre of music, in my opinion, because it involves so many strengths together.
Today we debuted with When to Speak, and I have I almost feel like this is a new beginning for us.
I think إنه الرياكشن رح يكون positive.
A very kind of proud moment until now for me, when we produce something that big while we are that young.
انبسطنا كثير لانه يعني هيك كانت بيناتنا انه اللي اشتغلوا على هذا الشغل، فاول مره هيك لما قعدنا هون وكلنا احتفلنا مع بعض حسينا انه اوف واو، هدول الساعات الطوال اللي اشتغلناهم بالاخر هي النتيجه تبعتهم.
And it's fun to see something like that come out of Jordan. لأنه you don't see that much. They're breaking the stereotype اللي عنا. The color palette was beautiful, I think, in my perspective.
For the people who actually enjoy musicals, I think they should kind of support that. لأنه it's يعني كثير عم بتقل this habit of musicals.
So our culture is very new to this kind of art in general.
هون البيئة الموجودة هون دائما بتطفص أي حدا عنده فكرة جديدة. يعني ما بيحاولوا دائما يدعموا، دائما بيحاولوا يحكوا له إنه سلبياتها أكثر منه إيجابيات.
So I think if we're going to do a musical movie, it has to have a good storyline.
It has to feature big stars to attract audiences. Definitely the younger crowds are going to be attracted to this, and it all depends on the concept and the music.
من يوم اللي الموسيقى تحولت لبزنس احنا خربنا الدنيا. الناس صار لها تقريبا 12 سنة متعودة على junk food إذا بدنا نقول.
Because the industry is not offering the level that it should, people have a lower threshold of what entertainment should sound like.
I was very proud and I was very surprised in a good way, of course. And I would definitely want to see more musicals like that.
This is really cool, this is really fresh, but yet again not everyone would accept that. في ناس ممكن تدق على أعصابهم، في ناس ممكن to feel sometimes offended when you play with old music and make it a bit modern. It reaches out للناس اللي بعمرنا. If this is the target then it's great.
ما راح تنجح لأنه هذا إشي جديد وإحنا الكلتشر تبعتنا ما بتساعد أو ما بتدعم هذا الإشي.
Maybe it's because of the way people look at arts. Like why would you go for singing or acting or do storytelling? It's a passion. We do have talents. We don't lack talents. But you know what we lack? We lack confidence.
People don't really pay attention to what they're listening to anymore. It's just music, Honestly, I do feel like we have the ability to do musicals. I just feel like it needs more attention, more people who are willing to fight for this.
بهذه الفترة بهذا الجنريشن ممكن يرجع الناس يستفيدوا للmusicals. I think people in Jordan are gonna be quite taken by a musical.
We're escalating, we're developing, و I think in the future رح يكون في أكتر musicals بكل الميدل إيست. يمكن as a startup بالأول شوي يكون صعب، بس لما يكون في أكتر musical عم بيطلع ورا بعض most probably الناس رح تقبل الموضوع أكتر وأكتر لبعدين.
People dancing to music, and I don't think people would have an actual grasp of what a musical is. I'm very proud of it, seeing that there's actually something new coming up.
احنا لو ما السوشيال ميديا يمكن كمان ما قدرنا ننتشر بالطريقه اللي نحن منتشرين فيها اليوم، خصوصا بالعالم العربي. لا الشغله صارت تيزنج دائما كل وقت، نحط تيزرز من بتونس بيه من بيهايند ذا سينز. الناس كانت عم تستنى بتونس بيك بطريقه مش طبيعيه. اليوم احنا اليوم الثاني ووصل الفيوز لهلا 14 ممكن يوصل ل 15,000 فيو.
Most of the people until now I'm also receiving a lot of messages. Everybody's saying this is so fresh, it's full of energy, it's colorful, it's what we want. If we keep on doing what we are doing, I see a very big future in the musicals industry.
Hopefully نتعدى المليون يعني.
You think we can?
إن شاء الله. إن شاء الله. بتخيل يعني مع شوية بوش زيادة هلا بالأيام اللي جاي نقدر 1,000,000 وأكثر.